50 wild geographical facts about Hungary that sound completely made up. Hungary looks small on a map, but geographically it is one of the strangest countries in Europe. It has inland seas, collapsing cave systems, volcanic hills, thermal rivers, grasslands that resemble Central Asia, and a lake so shallow that people can nearly walk across huge sections of it. Here are 50 unbelievable but true geographical facts about that. Sound fake, but are real. The country that shouldn't belong in Europe. 1. Hungary has no coastline, yet it feels like a water country. Despite being completely landlocked, Hungary is packed with rivers, wetlands, thermal lakes, marshes, and inland seas. The Danube River and Tisza River dominate the entire country and historically flooded huge areas every year. 2. More than half the country is basically one giant plain. The Great Hungarian Plain, the Alfold, covers enormous portions of the nation. Some regions are so flat that standing on a small hill can give you views for many miles in every direction. 3. Hungary once had vast inland swamps bigger than some countries. Before 19th century river engineering projects, much of eastern Hungary was seasonally underwater. Giant marsh systems and floodplains covered the landscape. Some old maps look more like delta regions than modern Europe. 4. The country sits inside a giant geological bowl. Hungary lies in the middle of the Carpathian Basin, a huge natural depression surrounded by mountains in neighboring countries. It is essentially enclosed by the arc of the Carpathian Mountains. 5. Hungary's highest mountain is tiny by European standards. The country's tallest peak, Kikis, is only about 1,014 meters high. In many countries that would barely count as a serious mountain, yet it is Hungary's rooftop. 6. Two-thirds of Hungary lies below 200 meters elevation. Large areas are astonishingly low and flat. This explains why rivers historically spread everywhere during floods. 7. Hungary contains Europe's most western steppe. The famous puszta grasslands resemble Kazakhstan or Mongolia more than Central Europe. Endless open horizons, grazing cattle, and dust storms make parts of eastern Hungary look Asian. 8. Parts of Hungary naturally resemble semi-desert. Certain sandy regions between the Danube and Tisza rivers are so dry that desertification has become a real environmental concern. 9. Hungary's landscape was once defined more by horses than cities. The Great Plain, historically, supported massive horse and cattle herds because farming was difficult. Before flood control transformed the terrain. 10. The country is divided by rivers, so completely that geography shapes identity. Hungarians still commonly describe regions as beyond the Danube, beyond the Tisza, between the Danube and Tisza. The rivers are not just waterways, they are cultural borders. Hungary's completely unreal water geography. 11. Hungary sits on one of the largest thermal water reserves on Earth. Almost the entire country has underground thermal water. You can drill nearly anywhere and eventually hit warm mineral-rich water. 12. Budapest has more thermal springs than most countries. The capital city alone contains over 100 thermal springs, making it one of the world's great spa cities. 13. There is a lake in Hungary that never fully freezes. Lake Heves is a giant thermal lake naturally heated from below. Even during winter, steam rises dramatically from the water. 14. Lake Heves is one of the largest thermal lakes on Earth. People swim outdoors there year-round because the water remains warm naturally. 15. Hungary has a sea that isn't a sea. Lake Balaton is so large that Hungarians call it the Hungarian Sea. It dominates tourism, culture, and summer life. 16. Balaton is extremely shallow. Average depth is only around 3 meters. In some areas, adults can walk incredibly far from shore while still standing. 17. The lake warms faster than many European seas. Because Balaton is shallow, summer temperatures can become surprisingly warm. 18. Hungary has underground lakes hidden in cave systems. The country's karst regions contain submerged cave passages and underground rivers. 19. Some Hungarian caves stretch across national borders. The Agdalek karst cave systems connect into neighboring Slovakia underground. 20. The Danube literally splits the country in half. The river flows north-south through Hungary so centrally that it became the country's natural organizing axis. hidden volcanoes, caves, and geological weirdness. 21. Hungary has volcanic mountains. Many people imagine Hungary as totally flat, but the northern ranges contain ancient volcanic terrain. 22. Some Hungarian hills were once explosive volcanoes. The Tokaj and Matra regions formed through volcanic activity millions of years ago. 23. Hungary has thousands of caves. Especially in the north, entire limestone worlds exist underground. 24. Agdalek looks like fantasy geography. The area contains sinkholes, disappearing streams, caves, and bizarre limestone formations. 25. One cave system contains massive underground halls. Some Hungarian caverns are large enough to feel like subterranean cathedrals. 26. Hungary has stone seas. Certain mountain regions are covered with chaotic fields of broken rock that resemble frozen waves. 27. The Buck Mountains were once underwater. Marine sedimentary rock in the range proves that ancient seas covered parts of the region. 28. Fossils from ancient tropical seas exist in Hungary. Some rocks formed when warm prehistoric oceans occupied the basin. 29. Hungary experiences small earthquakes. The Carpathian Basin is geologically active enough that measurable quakes still occur. 30. Entire hillsides produce wine because of volcanic soil. The famous Tokaj wine region owes much of its flavor to ancient volcanic geology. Wildlife and landscapes that feel more like Asia. 31. Hungary is one of Europe's greatest bird migration zones. Huge numbers of birds cross the Carpathian Basin during migration seasons. 32. Tens of thousands of cranes gather in Hungary. Seasonal crane migrations create enormous moving clouds of birds over the plains. 33. Hungary has steppe ecosystems rare in Europe. The Hortobágy region preserves grassland habitats more commonly associated with Eurasian steppes. 34. Some Hungarian wildlife looks more Siberian than European. Species associated with eastern grasslands survive there because of the unique environment. 35. Hungary has wild wetlands in the middle of a flat plain. Marshes and alkaline lakes create strange reflective landscapes unlike most of Europe. 36. There are areas where mirage effects are common. Heat shimmer over the pusta can create optical illusions resembling water or floating objects. 37. Hungary hosts Europe's largest natural grassland. Hortobágy National Park is one of the continent's great open landscapes. 38. Some Hungarian plains are salty. Mineral-rich soils and evaporation produce alkaline landscapes that look almost alien. 39. Rare raptors thrive there. Imperial eagles, saker falcons, and other powerful birds survive in Hungarian protected areas. 40. Hungary is shockingly biodiverse for its size. The meeting point of mountains, plains, rivers, wetlands, and continental climates creates unusual ecological diversity. The strange human geography of Hungary. 41. Budapest was originally 3 separate cities. The modern capital formed from Buda, Pest, and Óbuda on opposite sides of the Danube. 42. The Danube bend looks almost artificial. North of Budapest, the river suddenly changes direction dramatically, creating one of Europe's most unusual river curves. 43. Hungary's borders ignore the natural basin. The Carpathian Basin geographically feels unified, but modern political borders divide it among several countries. 44. Hungary has wine regions on volcanoes. Tokaj, Badacsony, and other areas grow grapes directly on ancient lava-based soils. 45. The country has floating reed villages around Balaton. Massive reed beds dominate parts of the lake shoreline, creating maze-like aquatic landscapes. 46. Hungary's rivers were once wild and unpredictable. Before regulation, the Tisza River reportedly had thousands more curves and meanders than today. 47. Some villages sit above massive cave networks. Underground voids beneath settlements occasionally create engineering challenges. 48. The nation is one giant drainage basin. Virtually all Hungarian rivers ultimately connect into the Danube system. 49. Hungary has a Mediterranean microclimate in certain areas. Southern hills near Pécs and Balaton can support plants associated with warmer climates. 50. From space, Hungary looks like a giant river laboratory. The entire country is shaped by sediment, floodplains, wetlands, and river engineering. Modern Hungary is partly a natural landscape and partly one of Europe's biggest historical water management projects. Why Hungary's geography feels so strange? Hungary is geographically unusual because it sits at the collision point of Eastern European steppe, Central European forests, Balkan climatic influence, alpine proximity, massive river systems, ancient volcanic terrain, thermal geology. That combination creates a country that can feel Asian on the plains, Mediterranean near Balaton, alpine in the west, volcanic in the north, swamp-like near rivers, and almost surreal underground. Very few countries pack this much geographical variety into such a compact area. Thanks for watching the video, and remember to like and subscribe for more content like this, and tell your friends how great this video is.